Hello guys, welcome back to another Unity CHash tutorial. In the last video, we were talking about all the different types of variables in Unity. But in today's video, we'll be actually learning how to make an object move, like this cube that we have right here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, we need a reference to our cube that we want to move. So we're going to do public game object, and we're gonna call it cube because the game object that we want to move is a cube. So semicolon, save, and let's see what this did in Unity. Let's see what this did in Unity. As you can see, it says cube, none game object. We were learning this in the last video. So if you guys watched the last video, you should be familiar with this and know this thing right here. So all you have to do is drag it in here, and let's see how we can actually move the cube. What code do we have to use to move the cube? And that's simple. We have to do transform.translate. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what translate is for math. It moves a point in a graph. But that's in Unity, but you can just move a whole object. Translating technically means to move something, but that's in Unity too. So let's just put the brackets on and semicolon. So translate is a function, and what we need to do with the function is, where do we want to translate? Do we want to translate our x-axis? Do we want to translate our y-axis? Or do we want to translate our z-axis? For now, we only have x and y because we're creating a 2D game. We're going to be creating a 3D game afterwards. So let's start by putting, as you can see over here, it's going to say transform.translate float x, float y, float z. So it says we need floats over here. We need numbers over here, and 3 of them. So for the first one, which says it's an x, what we're going to do is we're going to put 1, or maybe I want to put 0.1. And if you guys know, in C++ you have to put F if there's a point in the middle. And then we're going to put a comma, and we're going to put 0, comma, 0. So as you can see, all the errors came out. That means it's saying this is perfectly fine. So you can come over here and run the program and see what will happen. As you can see, the object moved. But if you want this to happen to the game object that you want, like say I have another cube. I'm going to create another cube right here. I want this one to move, but I'm applying the script over here on this cube. So what we want to do is come over here and type in, and all you have to do is type over here cube.transform.translate. What this will do is, whatever we just did right before this, it's gonna apply it on the cube that we wanted to apply on. So let's say 0.1, 0, and 0. So let's see what will happen if we come back to Unity. And we're gonna say we don't want this cube to be the quad. We want it to be quad 1. So all we have to do is drag quad 1 from the hierarchy tab over here, just like last time, and see what will happen. So as you can see, that cube moved right here. So if we want to put maybe our main camera, or the camera that we're watching in, over there, the camera should move. But this will technically look like the cubes are moving the other way, because the camera is moving this way. Just give it a try. Yeah, and both cubes look like they're moving the other way, even though, as you can see over here, the camera is moving that way. But now we want it to, let's say, only work when we press D, and we want it to move the other way when we press A. So let's see how that will work. So there are actually two ways to make it so that when you press a button, it will move. There's the easy way and the hard way. First, I'll show you the easy way. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a float, and I'm gonna call it I. Okay, I'm gonna give it the value of, hear me out here, input dot get axis horizontal. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put in brackets. Put in brackets horizontal, right? And I didn't mean to put these here, I just wanted to put a semicolon. So what this does is, get axis is a special key, and what this does is when you press A or the arrow sign to the left, it will give I the value of -1, and when you press D or the arrow key to the right, it's gonna give I the value of 1. So technically, what we can do right here is put transform or cube, depending on which one you want, cube dot transform dot translate, and we're gonna put I, 0, 0. So let's see what will happen. But a problem you will face is it's gonna go too fast. The cube is gonna go way too fast. Look. Oh, right now it's the camera that's the problem, because the camera is connected to the cube. But all we have to do to fix that is connect this over here. So let's play again, and let's see how fast the cube is going. As you can see, the cube goes really fast. So in order to fix that, all we have to do is multiply it by 0.5 to make it half time, slower or more, depending on what you want. But what we have to do is multiply it by time dot delta time. So what this does is, no matter what type of screen there is, like let's say we have a really small screen, it's not going to make it faster or slower. Because in Unity, let's say you're playing it on the iPad and someone else is playing it on the phone, your game, one is going to go faster than the other. So in order to fix that, you have to multiply it by time.delta time. But there will be another problem that you'll be facing. It's going to now go way too slow. And, oh, sorry, I forgot to save my code. It's completely my fault. Save and play it again. And then you'll face another problem. It's going to go way too slow. So you can fix that easily. Wait. As you can see, it's going too slow. But you can fix that easily by just simply multiplying it by a number. Let's say I want to multiply it by 2 to make it 2 times faster. And then multiply that by time.delta time. So if I save this and open Unity instead of Google, it should work. So play. Yep, it's going 2 times faster. But as you can see, I'm gonna let go right now, and it's still kind of slid to the right. But that, like always, has a fix. We can do is do the get axis raw, which is gonna get the raw axis. So now if I save this and come, there won't be any like drag at the end of the object. So now if I come like this, it should stop as soon as I let go. So I'm gonna let go right now. It stopped. There was no drag at the end. So that was the first tactic you can do. The second tactic is the harder way. Let's get right into it. What we have to do is create 2 if checks. If you, let's say, press the right arrow key, it's gonna move it to the right. If you click the left arrow key, it's gonna move it to the left. In the older one, you didn't even have to create 1 if check, but in this one you have to create 2. So if you do if input, whatever an input in your keyboard, input dot get key down or up. Okay, I'll tell you what down and up are. So down is as soon as you press the button, it's gonna do down. As soon as you let go of the button, it's gonna give up. So if you do input dot get key, dot get key, just get key, it's gonna do even if you're holding it down or you let go, it's gonna still do it. So input dot get key, and it's gonna be slightly different. You're gonna put key code dot, let's give it, you can put right arrow key or up arrow key, or you can do A or D. It's gonna have all the letters and everything that you have in your keyboard. So I'm gonna do right, it even has like right alt or anything, right arrow, and we're gonna put brackets, and what we're gonna do over here is gonna transform dot, cube dot transform dot translate, to be more precise, cube dot transform dot translate, capital T, and put brackets and a semicolon. And over here I'm gonna put, let's say 0.1 comma 0 comma 0. I'm not gonna multiply it by a time.delta time because we're just doing it as a demonstration. I'm just gonna copy this whole if check. You can rewrite it if you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna give it a few changes. If you get the left arrow key, then move it to the left. Pretty simple, right? The left arrow, then move it to minus, the opposite of 0.1. So if you save this and check it over here, let's see what will happen. But there are advantages to this use, because there are sometimes you want it to move specifically when you press like the space bar, you want your character to jump. So what you can do, easily come over here and do space bar. You can just write space bar over here, dot space, and move it 0.1 up. So this won't be like regular jumping because it will only flow up, but you get the idea. So if I run this, well, I'll show you what happened. I can move it left to right, alright, but I can also jump. It's not coming back down because it has no gravity. But yeah, that will be all for today's video though. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.